step no or step yes? Tagal ko nang hindi nilalaro yun. High
ba
school
yan?
pa yan. O, grade school. Okay. Dated ang ating mga writer. Mabigat ang kasong kinakaharap ng ating butihing senador Rodante Marcoleta matapos isampa ang kasong plunder kaugnay ng umano'y hindi na ideklarang pondo sa kanyang kampanya. Tanong ko nga dyan, yung hindi ba pagkakadeklara constitutes plunder? Okay.
Or the mere fact of acceptance, ano?
Of acceptance
Oo.
and not using it for the campaign.
Okay. Pero paano nga ba nagiging plunder ang isang kasong may kinalaman sa campaign finance? Ano ang mga elementong kailangang patunayan at paano nagtatagpo ang election law at criminal law sa usaping ito?
So, nantanungin naman po natin ang taong bayan kung maituturing bang selective justice talaga ang kaso ni Marcoleta. Ang ibig sabihin, ang inuuna talagang tugisin ng batas sa ngayon ay yung mga kalaban ng administrasyon, habang mabagal naman ang pag-usad ng mga kaso daw sa mga kakampi nila. Ang sabi nila?
Fair dapat ang paglilitis sa kanya. At sana naman maipaliwanag din ni Marcoleta ang side niya ng napakaayos para matapos yung problema. Diba? Bilang public official, hindi ko sinasabing may kasalanan siya, hindi ko sinasabing wala. Ang may decide na lang yan, siyempre, ang husgado.
Tama yung pag-aresto sa kanya. Kasi lumabag siya sa mga alintuntunay ng mga ng batas eh. Dapat yan, gaya yan, di ba? Senador siya. Dapat alamin yung ng senador. Hindi niya inaamin. Yung bandang huli lang niya inamin tungkol doon sa natanggap niya.
So, magkakaibang parang pinag-iisipan pala talaga ng ordinaryong tao ito, ano?
Oo.
Sa tagal ba naman ng panahon, bakit ba hindi pa matuldukan yung interpretasyon ng batas? Upang bigyan tayo ng linaw, makakasama po natin ngayon si Attorney Pio Garay-Blas, isang election law professor mula sa Philippine Law School, para bigyan linaw ang lahat ng ito. Good morning po, welcome to Memo.
Good morning, Corina. Good morning, Willard. Good morning sa inyong lahat.
Bakit
morning.
nga po ba sa palagay ninyo, it's so complicated to dissect this supposed crime? The Ombudsman seems to be convinced. Pero ano sa palagay po ninyo? Does it constitute plunder?
Yes, it constitutes plunder. Under our law, plunder is committed when a public official amasses wealth legally through a combination or a series of acts. Now, the threshold amount in plunder is 50 million and above.
Okay. So, okay, ang tanong, depensa kasi nila, hindi ba? Ang depensa nila, binigay sa akin yan. Hindi pa naman ako nahahalal noon. So, para yan sa kampanya. So, hindi naman siya public funds pa, private na eh. So, how and why does it constitute plunder?
Unang-una, no, nais kong pabulaanan para sa mga manonood nyo na ang plunder, it doesn't solely involve public funds. Maaari ding private funds, no? Pangalawa, nais ko lang din sabihin na ang generosity or ang pagiging mapagbigay, hindi naman yan krimen. Pero kung ang perang ibibigay sa'yo ay exorbitant, napakalaki, katulad ng nangyayari ngayon sa sitwasyon ni Senator Marcoleta, 75 million pesos, it raises doubt. Ngayon, para patunayan ko kung bakit merong kaso na pwedeng ihabla laban kay Senator Marcoleta for the crime of plunder, let me briefly state the facts. Una, noong siya ay party list representative pa, sinabi niya na pinagkalooban siya ng 75 million pesos ni Mike Defensor at ng kasamahan niya. Okay. The money was given on the condition that it will be used for his campaign as a senator. Okay. So, doon sa puntong yon, dahil nung binigay yung perang yon, wala pang campaign period. Walang election offense pa. Okay. Nung dumating ang campaign period, hindi nag-comply si Senator Marcoleta doon sa obligation niya na gamitin yung 75 million pesos para sa campaign niya. Bakit? Una, hindi nakasaad sa statement of contributions and expenditures niya yung donation na binigay and or contributions. Ang nakasaad lang doon ay yung expenses niya. Pangalawa, sinampahan siya ng kaso ng COMELEC. At sa desisyon ng COMELEC, nakasaad doon na totoo nga na hindi nagdeklara ng donation si Senator Marcoleta. Bagkus, ang dineklara lang niya ay expenses. Dahil may kahinaan ng provision ng Omnibus Election Code pagdating doon sa aspetong yun, ang pinataw na kaparusahan kay Senator Marcoleta ay fine lang and administrative sanction. He wasn't disqualified to become a senator. Now, ano ang pakahalagahan ng lahat ng sinabi ko? Yung initially na pera na legitimate became illegitimate when there was failure on the part of Senator Marcoleta to use it for its proper purpose. Therefore, nag-amass siya ng ill-gotten wealth. At initially, yung mga nagbigay sa kanya ng pera in good faith, let us assume, they are now complicit in the commission of corruption of public officials.
So, paano po yun?
And if I may add, indirect bribery as well.
Indirect bribery.
Kasi po ang indirect bribery, that crime is committed when money is given to a public official by reason of his public office.
Okay. So kayo na rin po nagsabi, playing devil's advocate. He received the amount before election period.
Yes, ma'am.
So who is to say that that was for the campaign? Because he himself said it.
Yeah.
Oo. Siya mismo ang nagsabi na nagbigay ng kontribusyon para sa kampanya. Pero technically, what if he says that he was just joking? Technically, it was given before election period. And who is to say that hindi talaga ginamit para sa kampanya? And hindi pa naman siya public official. So, paano po naging plunder? Kung hindi naman siya public fund, he was not yet a public official, he was not elected yet, and yet it still falls under plunder.
Okay, so ganito yan. Sa batas, merong tinatawag na admission, extrajudicial admission. Okay. So, when a person makes an admission outside of the court, the only time that it will be valid if it is corroborated with evidence of corpus delicti. Ano ang corpus delicti? It refers to the circumstances or any element of the crime. So, ano ang punto ko dito? Merong video na may pag-amin si Senator Marcoleta na sinasabi sa kanya, pare, tanggapin mo tong perang to. Ang naniniwala kami na magiging senador ka at nararapat lang na maging senador ka. Pero ang tanging pakiusap lang namin, wag mong sasabihin ang pangalan namin. Okay? So, that is an admission out of court made by Senator Marcoleta. Now, the corpus delicti here, or the element that will corroborate that admission, would be the decision of the COMELEC, as well as the statement of contributions and expenditures of Senator Marcoleta. So, hindi niya pwedeng sabihin na biro yun. Hindi niya rin pwedeng sabihin na truth is not a defense there. Sabi niya, I'm just being truthful. Even if you are truthful, but if you violated the law, you will be liable. You must be liable.
Naka-aggravate ho ba sa sitwasyon niya yung hindi niya paggamit dun sa pera at in effect, tinago niya?
Oo. Kasi ibig sabihin, that constitutes amassment of ill-gotten wealth. Kasi ang pera, kung yung pera binigay sa akin at sinabi na gamitin mo to dahil tumatakbo ka bilang konsehal, binulsa ko. Tapos nilagay ko sa statement of contributions and expenditures ko, 2,000 lang. There is income. Diba? Oo.
Ibang issue pa kung nadeklara
There
niya yan sa kanyang salin, no?
Ibang issue pa rin yun. Para madagdag ko rin, no? There is also a tax component here, no? Kasi he was given a donation. Did he pay the donor's tax?
May donor's tax po ba?
So,
Parang ngayon ko lang narinig yan.
Oo. And then, if I may add, ma'am, under our tax code, income is defined as the flow of wealth to an income taxpayer other than capital. So, nagkaroon siya ng 75 million eh. Did he pay income taxes because of the increase in his wealth?
Ayun. Okay. So, okay. Ito naman ang kanilang depensa. Kasi kung titingnan po natin, tingnan na lang po natin yung tinatawag na jurisprudence o yung mga dating mga kaso na medyo may pagkakahawig dito po sa sitwasyon ni Ginoong Marcoleta to establish ano ba talaga ang interpretasyon ng batas. Okay, so meron silang Peñera versus Commission on Elections and Edgar Andanar. Ayan. Nakasulat dito, the law does not state, as the assailed decision asserts, that partisan political acts done by a candidate before the campaign period are unlawful, but may be prosecuted only upon the start of the campaign period. Neither does the law state that partisan political acts done by a candidate before the campaign period are temporarily lawful, but becomes unlawful upon the start of the campaign period. Parang yung timing ang pinag-uusapan dito.
Hindi pa siya kandidato bago nagsimula ang campaign period. Parang loophole nga yan sa batas.
Hindi pa siya kandidato at saka hindi pa siya nahahalal na public official. So how can it be plunder?
Ano pa lang siya noon party list congressman.
Okay. So if he was a party list congressman, but he already ceased to be a party list congressman when he's... kasi hindi pa nag-start ang campaign period.
Katuloy pa rin ang kanyang, pagsilbi hanggang election day.
Tama ba ang pinag-uusapan namin, attorney? O
Okay.
natatawa ka dyan?
Ma'am, ganito po. Yung sinight na Peñera case, kalahati tama. Okay? Tama in the sense na you can only be liable for an election offense when the campaign period starts. Okay? Initially, just like what I said, when money was given, hindi pa po nagsisimula yung campaign period. Pero noong panahon na po na kailangan gastusin yung 75 million pesos, it was during the campaign period. Okay. Now, if I may add, sinabi niyo po kanina, ang isa sa mga depensa nila ay hindi, nung tinanggap ni Senator Marcoleta yung pera, he ceased to become a public official because he ran as senator. I beg to disagree with that. Because in the case of Fariñas versus Executive Secretary, the Supreme Court held that when an elective public official seeks for a higher office and tenders his certificate of candidacy, he remains in his original public position. And the only time that he ceases to be a public official in that regard is when he wins in the subsequent election in the position that he is seeking for, or if he loses. So sa kaso po ni Senator Marcoleta, tuloy-tuloy lang po yung pagiging public official niya. There is continuity of service because according to the Supreme Court, it must be that way because as an elected official, you were installed in office through the mandate of the people.
So itinuturing ba ito, attorney, na ill-gotten wealth?
Yes.
At paano mapapatunayan ito na ombudsman?
Well, unang-una, kagaya nga ng nasabi ko, yung pagbigay sa kanya ng 75 million, it is a series of acts. It was given by 3 persons, okay? Second, yung 75 million, which was supposed to be used for campaign purposes, hindi ginamit. Therefore, adding them together, there is a public official accumulates wealth through a series of acts. So, nag-accumulate siya ng wealth illegally.
So you expect this to be filed anytime now? Kumbaga, ripe for filing na ito sa Sandigan Bayan? At warranted ang pag-issue ng arrest warrant, tingin niyo po, attorney?
Tingin ko, alam mo, if I may add, we will never, we would not have this discussion if only Senator Marcoleta did not give that interview. wherein he said that he receives a certain amount, particularly 75 million, and then he narrated that it should be used for his campaign, and that the donor should not be named.
At admissible ba sa korte ang mga media interviews, attorney?
Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, no, ang out-of-court admission must be, in order for it to be admissible, it must be corroborated with evidence of corpus delicti. So, yung video interview na yun, kung mamarapatin mo, alas na yan ng ombudsman. Kailangan na lang nilang kumuha ng ebidensya, which is, in my estimation, this will be documentary evidence. Okay, that would be the SOSE, and another would be a certified true copy of the decision of the COMELEC.
Okay.
Kaya kailangan mag-iingat sa sinasabi.
Oo.
Kung
Sa
minsan, hindi ba?
interview.
Oo, kasi ganun din yung sa kaso ni VP Sara about the threat to the life of the president. Siya rin mismo ang nagsabi. And also the former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Sa ICC?
Yes, hindi nang
Oo.
pinangahawakan ng mga judges doon yung kanyang mismong sinabi sa media. Okay, so para mas simple, ano po yung mga espesipikong mga elemento na kailangan pong mapatunayan ng mga prosecutor beyond reasonable doubt for a plunder conviction?
Okay, in order to sustain a conviction, ang prosecution, kailangan nila ipakita na una, yung pagiging public officer ni Senator Marcoleta. That is an essential element. So, nung ginawa niya yung krimen, dapat maipakita ng prosecution na he is in public office. Pangalawa, kailangan ipakita rin ng prosecution that Senator Marcoleta amassed ill-gotten wealth. Okay? So, paano mapapakita yun? Mapapakita yon sa pamamagitan ng dokumento kung saan yung 75 million hindi niya dineklara. Nasaan yung 75 million? And then, panghuli, kailangan patunayan ng prosecution na a series of acts were committed. Ano ba yung series of acts? Di ba? It refers to a crime successively committed. So, in my estimation, the act of giving money on the part of Mike Defensor and his associates constitutes indirect bribery.
Okay.
And indirect bribery is a predicate crime. And since it was given by 3 persons, it is a series of acts.
Okay. So, maa-aresto rin po ba? O pwedeng ihabla rin si Mike Defensor and et al.?
Maari siyang panagutin. He can be charged as a principal by indispensable cooperation in the crime of plunder. He can be charged for corruption of public officials as well.
Ganun pala yun. Kailangan, sana, kung kailangan ko na abogado, kailangan si Ginoong Garay Blas ang kunin ko.
Oo.
Pero sana hindi na mangyari yun.
Hindi na, wag natin paabutin doon.
Okay. So, all right. I'm just looking at something in the Omnibus Election Code. Sabi po dito, candidates holding elective office. Section 67. Candidates holding elective office, any elective official, whether national or local, running for any office other than the one which he is holding in a permanent capacity, except for President and Vice President, shall be considered ipso facto resigned from his office upon the filing of his certificate of candidacy. So, paano po ito in determining whether Rodante Marcoleta was still in office when he received the donation or not?
That is what I mentioned a while ago.
Yung kay Fariñas.
The Fariñas versus Executive Secretary. Gumawa po ng distinction ng Supreme Court between an appointed official and an elected official. According to the Supreme Court, when an appointed official tenders his certificate of candidacy, he is automatically resigned from office. On the other hand, when an elected official files his certificate of candidacy, he is not automatically terminated from his office. He continues to perform his function in his current position, and the only time that he ceases to become a public official in his former position is when he wins
Oo.
in the position that he is seeking or when he loses.
Kasi nga bumabalik
Oo.
sila, 'di ba? Pag
Oo.
natatalo sila, bumabalik sila sa
Oo.
pagiging senador,
Yes, ma'am.
pagiging congressman,
Yes, ma'am.
ayun. Oo.
Gusto ko rin matanong si Attorney, I'm curious, kung
Yeah.
halimbawa kayo ay defense lawyer ni Senator Marcoleta, ano ang pwede niyang gamiting depensa laban doon
Pinahihirapan mo naman itong
Oo,
si
kasi
Attorney Garay Blas.
I'm sure merong makikitang depensa ang kampo ni Senator Marcoleta, hindi ba, Attorney?
Una, siguro pwede kong gamitin good faith, pero kasi special penal yun. Maybe I can adduce the defense that of mistake.
Mistake.
Oo, mistake. That in reality, there was failure on my end to declare it, but but actually I really used the money. Okay. Ngayon kung papaano nila gagawin 'yun, hindi ko na alam. Pero that is the defense that I can think of.
Ang kailangan nilang suportahan yun, no? Yung
Oo,
depensa
kasi
nila.
hindi ba yung list of expenditures mo, kailangan mo ring ideklara?
Oo.
Also, does it amount to 75 million pesos?
Tapos, dahil kaya lang walang election offense daw no? Na sinasabi dahil hindi pa siya officially a candidate at that time. Loophole yan ng batas, Attorney?
Oo. Oo. Kailangan paigtingin pa yung provision na 'yon kasi doon sa provision na 'yon ng Omnibus Election Code, kung first offense, failure to declare donation and other data in your statement of contributions and expenditures will merit only a fine and an administrative sanction, pagalit lang or reprimand. Bigyan ka ng instruction. Pero sa pangalawang pagkakataon, pag tumakbo ka and you failed to make the necessary declaration in your SOSE, you will be fined and you will be perpetually disqualified from holding public office.
Anong recommendation niyo, Attorney?
Di,
Dapat sa first offense pa lang.
Sa first offense pa lang. Para maging diligent lahat. Di ba? Para maging dutiful lahat. Oo.
Okay, so kailangan tingnan ulit yung batas din.
Oo.
Ang dami nating nadidiscovering mga batas na walang
Outdated
ngipin.
na. Oo.
Outdated, wala na sa realidad, at saka,
Maraming
alam mo
butas.
naman Pilipino, hindi ba, ang galing nilang paikutan ng batas eh. Kaya nga, sir, sabi ko, AI dapat ang gumawa ng batas.
Tama.
Di ba, no? Robot na lang, para wala nang, hindi na talaga mapapaikutan ng
Walang
tao.
bias, walang prejudice,
Yes.
walang ulterior motive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Pero ang sagot naman nila sa akin, depende yan kung sino nag-i-input
Na.
ng
Tama, ma'am.
impormasyon.
Kaya lang walang feelings pag
Ha?
AI.
Wala namang feelings ang batas. Ano ka ba? Basta't ikaw ay Sir, last question na lang po ito. Kung maaresto today si Senador Marcoleta, kasi impeachment na po sa Monday, impeachment trial na. So he really ceases to hold any power to participate.
Yes.
Talagang
Yeah.
ganun po. And in your opinion, ano na po ang calculation ng 2/3 sa Senado?
In my opinion, it's still 16.
Still 16?
It's still 16. But I have my doubts also because if the base decreases, the number of required votes also will decrease.
Kaya nga po.
So,
Oo.
meron mga nagsasabi, quoting Justice Ascuna, that the provision of the Constitution in that regard must be strictly followed. So, yun yung isang position.
Sir, kulang na naman pala ang batas.
Pero ma'am, kasi, the impeachment case, if I may, is a legal process. At the same time, it's a political process. No? So, what do I mean by this? Whether or not they reach the number of votes to acquit or to convict Vice President Sara, I think the objective of the prosecution here is to present the evidence and make the people, especially the masses, understand the possible transgressions that the Vice President committed. So yun na lang. Kasi ma'am, nagiging paunti na ng paunti yung mga senador. Hindi ko na alam rin kung how to interpret the numbers for conviction and acquittal.
Ayan. Kita wala pa rin tayong sagot.
Oo.
Ano ba yan? Kulang talaga yung batas. Anyway, oras po ngayon para basahin natin ang opinyon ng madla. Para malaman, maituturing ba talagang selective justice ang kaso ni Senador Rodante Marcoleta? Nang tanungin natin online, ang sabi nila, sabi ni Meli Santos, planado ahead of impeachment. Just observe the past and present consequences.
Saka siya lang ba ang tinakasuhan kasi sa isyong ganito no? Kasi I'm sure maraming politiko
Ang tumanggap ng donasyon na hindi naman
hindi
dineklara.
dineclare at tinago na lang.
Oo, nagkamali lang si Senador Marcoleta, nagsalita siya.
Ang sabi naman ni Intoy Rindra, ang mga ebidensya sa bibig niya nagmula mismo, kaya huwag niyang sabihin na ito'y imbento.
Baka nga daw nagkamali. Okay. Iking Digula, iba naman po kaso niya doon sa flood control. Hindi naman din selective kasi madami nang nakulong na matataas sa flood control. Marami na bang nakulong na matataas sa
Ilan
flood
lang
control?
Naku.
Kulang pa.
Oo.
Kulang pa yun.
At hindi Pio, tingin mo, selective ba? Selective ang justice
Okay.
sa kasong to.
Okay, let us define first what selective justice is, no? Ang selective justice, ibig sabihin, merong grupo ng mga tao na hinahabla for the same crime, pero iisa lang ang hinahabla sa korte at ginigipit siya. Ngayon, relating what I said to the case of Senator Marcoleta, kung meron tayong kakilalang public official that is similarly situated with the plight of Senator Marcoleta at hindi siya hinahabla, hindi siya iniimbestigahan, katulad ng pag-iimbestiga na ginagawa kay Senator Marcoleta, then there is selective justice. Ngayon, kung bukod tanging si Senator Marcoleta lang ang gumawa niyan, at pinananagot siya sa hukuman, walang selective justice.
Ayun. Okay. Sabi ni Gahasan Marilyn Gahasan, nakaligtas na sa COMELEC, nagyabang. Ikwento ang pangyayari kaya nahuli siya sa kanyang bibig.
Sabi naman ni Jess M. Ali, yes na yes, kitang-kita naman na politika lang ang kaso.
Nako. Talagang depende na po yan. Depende na po yan sa tatag ng sikmura ng administrasyon. Kasi hindi daw talaga magbaback out si Boying Remulla, ang ombudsman. Okay, alamin po natin kung mangyayari yan today, ang pagkakaaresto ni Rodante Marcoleta.
Pahabol lang na tanong, attorney, kung halimbawa final ngayon sa Sandigan Bayan yung kumbaga information, same day din lalabas ang warrant of arrest?
Hindi siguro. Siguro, well, mahirap kasi kailangan pag-aralan muna ng mga mahistrado yon. And in the Sandigan Bayan, one division is composed of 3 justices. So, kung magfa-file sila ng information ngayong araw na to at lalabas ang warrant of arrest, I think dapat i-exhaust ni Senator Marcoleta yung remedies niya under the law. He can file a petition for certiorari under Rule 65.
Supreme
Ayun.
Court.
Alleging grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction.
Sa Supreme
Kasi
Court na, oo.
napakabilis nun. Isang araw lang.
But in the meantime, he goes to jail.
In the meantime, so long as there is no warrant of arrest yet,
He doesn't go to jail.
He doesn't go to
But if
jail.
he's arrested, even if he files a petition, he will be behind bars.
if the evidence of guilt is strong, he cannot post bail.
Ayun. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Election Law Professor, Attorney Pio Garay Blas. Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat.
Sige
Maraming
po.
salamat.
Thank you, attorney.